Okay, if your team is full of good people and everyone is pretty competent, but everything keeps landing back on you, there's a reason for that. And no, it's not because your team is unmotivated or untrained. It's because your practice has developed predictable patterns of dependency that you may not even realize you're reinforcing. So let's talk about it. I'm Dr. Juanita Collier, and I can tell you this: team dependency is rarely a systems problem, it's a behavioral pattern, one that develops slowly and quietly over time. Even when your systems get better, even when your workflows improve, even when you think you've fixed the structure, your team can still default to you for every decision, every clarification, and every conflict. Why? Because of six invisible patterns that most practice owners never see. Let's walk through them. Pattern number one, the rescue reflex. This is the moment you answer a question the instant that it's asked. You're fast, you're experienced, you know the answer without even thinking about it. The problem? Every time you rescue your team from a moment of uncertainty, you teach them, bring it to me, I'll solve it for you. Not intentionally, not emotionally, structurally. And after a few months, that becomes part of the culture. And we can't afford that at all. We need to make sure that our team can actually think independently of us because we want them to start thinking like us, not have us thinking for them. So that's pattern number one. Pattern number two, the micro decision trap. Clinicians make hundreds of decisions per hour. Scheduling, parent communication, patient communication, what to prioritize, what to document, what exception to allow, what to explain, and what to explain further, what to do when someone's upset, what to do when somebody's happy. We want them to write a referral. We want them to do a success story. Why isn't our team thinking of that automatically? We want them to, right? But if you make all of those micro decisions, your team learns that they shouldn't make them. This happened long before systems became an issue, but it's something that we can stop now. And pattern number three, teaching tasks instead of thinking. This is the biggest differentiator between a dependent team and an independent one. Most owners train their team to know what to do, what the steps are, and how to complete the tasks. But we almost never teach them how to think. We never tell them, this is how I think when. And that may be because you don't even know how you think. I know we talked about it in the last video, but you need to take a step back and figure out, how do I think about this specific situation, and then train your staff on that so that then they can start to glean how it is that you think about specific situations. So without shared thinking and frameworks, your team is forced to come back to you, not because they can't do the task, but because they don't know how to make the judgment calls around it. Pattern number four, the safety bias. In many clinical practices, team members are terrified of making the wrong decision. They don't want to upset a patient. They don't want to break a rule they didn't know existed. They definitely don't want to disappoint you. So what do? Come to you, because then they avoid all the risk. They ask you first every time, and then everything goes well. Except then you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. And that's what we don't want to do anymore. We need to remember that we created our practices, one, to make an impact throughout the world and really get how we practice out there. Because if you're like me, you think that you are one of the best, if not the best, at what you do. And you know that you can help so many people, and you wanted to do it your way on your terms. Also, your practice is supposed to work for you, not the other way around. Your practice is supposed to support your life, not the other way around. So we need to make sure that we are going back to, why is it that we have this practice in the first place? And it's not for us to work for a tyrant, like they say in the E-Myth Revisited, one of my favorite books. Like, we really need to understand that this practice is supposed to be an extension of ourselves and our baby, but also not supposed to be like sucking the life force out of us. And I think that you know what I'm talking about. So again, this is not a systems issue. It's a neurological one. Humans are defaulting to safety all the time. That's what we're wired to do. So we want our team to feel safe regardless of the decisions that they make, not because they made the wrong decision and we want that to be okay, but because we taught them so well how we think that the decision that they make is going to be the right one. So then we get to pattern number 5. So you make it look so easy. Don't you love that? You make it look so easy. Is it easy? Are you suffering inside? Do you feel like you're dying inside? Because it's not easy. But you know that you're a practice owner and you just put a smile on your face and keep it pushing, because that's what we do. Now, when we're making it look so easy, it's often because we're skipping steps. We're not doing it intentionally, but because of our expertise. One, we're experts in knowing how we think, even if we haven't thought about how we think, but we're experts at doing everything that we do. We're experts at providing care. We're experts at understanding how to communicate with the patients that we attract to our offices. But when you skip steps out loud, your team only sees the final decision. So unless you walk them through how you arrived upon that decision, they have absolutely no idea. And it's just like, okay, this is what you decided today. So then let's see what you decide tomorrow. They never actually learn your thinking, so they can't recreate the outcome. This causes reliance even after good systems exist. Pattern number 6, the secret rules of your practice. Every practice has rules that are unwritten. Like, oh my goodness, you would never say that to a patient. You would never schedule that way. I always want to review X, Y, and Z first, except only you know all of them. Nobody else knows all the rules in your head, just you, unless they're written down or stated. That's why having team meetings is so important, because we want them to really understand how we're thinking, but also when you're making decisions, talking them through it. We need to take that moment. We need to step back and figure out what is the thought process and explain it so that they get it. Your team avoids acting because they're scared of breaking these invisible boundaries. This is pure leadership psychology, not systems architecture. So now we're making a shift in how we're doing things. We want to give our team a bridge to empowerment. Most clinicians think that their team relies on them because I don't have good systems. That might be true. Systems do reduce confusion, but leadership patterns reduce dependency. And that's what we're shifting to now. You need both. You need systems and good leadership patterns. So, if this landed with you and you can see these patterns in your practice, you're not alone. You're not behind. You're right on track. These dynamics are predictable, diagnosable, and fixable. On January 6th, we are starting our Refocus and Reset Challenge. And so this is a free challenge that we're hosting to help doctors and clinicians really evaluate their practices, evaluate how everything's going, evaluate their structures, evaluate their leadership skills, evaluate their team, evaluate their patient experience, because we want to make sure that we're getting off on good footing for 2026. So at 12 o'clock Eastern on January 6th, we are making this shift. We are changing things. We're kicking off our free Refocus and Reset Challenge. We're going to be breaking down all of those patterns, and we're going to be supporting you and having your team and your practice start to support you the way that we really need to make the impact that we want to make in 2026. So make sure you're registered. And if you want deeper structure during the challenge, consider upgrading to either the leader or CEO experience, because then we can get right into your questions. We can do live coaching. We can do all the things to get you ready for 2026. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe. And in the meantime, let's get building.